Falling for the Mafia, a dangerous love story that changed everything. Official music video. Sometimes love enters our lives at the exact moment we least expect it. And sometimes, the person we are warned to stay away from becomes the one person our heart cannot live without. This is a story about fear, secrets, power, and a love that was never supposed to happen. Adrian was the most feared man in the city. Behind expensive suits, luxury cars, and a powerful empire was a man who had forgotten what it meant to trust someone. People respected him because they feared him. His enemies knew better than to challenge him. But behind his cold expression was a lonely heart that had been waiting for something he never believed would come. Then one rainy night, everything changed. Her name was Elena. She was nothing like the people Adrian knew. She lived a simple life and believed in honest love, quiet dreams, and a peaceful future. She had no idea that one unexpected meeting would pull her into a world of secrets and danger. Their first meeting wasn't romantic. There was no perfect moment, no beautiful celebration. There was only rain, an empty street, and two strangers looking at each other as if they had somehow met before. Adrian knew immediately that Elena was someone he should stay away from. His life was dangerous. Anyone close to him could become a target. But for the first time, Adrian couldn't control what was happening inside his heart. Elena slowly discovered the truth about him. Adrian wasn't just a mysterious businessman. He was connected to a powerful criminal world filled with enemies, betrayal, and danger. She was afraid. One evening, she looked at him and said, "There is no place for me in your world." Adrian looked at her quietly before answering, "Maybe not in my world. But there is a place for you in my heart." Those words changed everything. Elena began to see the man behind the reputation. She saw someone who had spent his entire life protecting others but had never allowed anyone to protect him. She saw the loneliness behind his silence and the pain behind his strength. Their relationship became deeper with every meeting. Adrian, the man who never showed weakness, started changing. A simple smile from Elena could turn his worst day into his best one. He began to understand that love wasn't weakness. Love was the one thing that made him want to become a better man. But in Adrian's world, love always came with a price. His greatest enemy discovered Elena's identity. Suddenly, the woman Adrian loved became his biggest vulnerability. One night, Elena disappeared. Adrian received a single message. "If you want her back, give up everything." For the first time in his life, Adrian faced a choice he couldn't escape. His power was on one side. His empire was on the other. But Elena was in the middle. And Adrian knew exactly what he had to do. He was willing to lose everything to save her. He walked away from the world that had made him powerful and entered the darkness alone. Every step brought another danger. Every shadow could hide an enemy. But Adrian had only one thought in his mind. He had to find Elena. When he finally reached her, Elena was standing there with tears in her eyes. She looked at him and whispered, "Why would you risk everything for me?" Adrian took a breath and replied, "Because you reminded me who I was before this world took everything from me." Elena reached for his hand. For a moment, neither of them spoke. They didn't need words. They both knew that their love had already changed them. But the danger wasn't over. Adrian understood that if he wanted a future with Elena, he couldn't keep living the life he had always known. He had to leave the Mafia world behind. Completely. It was the hardest decision of his life. He looked back at the empire he had built. The people who once made him feel powerful were now reminding him of everything he wanted to escape. Then he turned around. And he didn't look back. For the first time, Adrian wasn't running toward power. He was running toward peace. He and Elena began dreaming about a life far away from secrets, enemies, and fear. A simple life. A quiet home. A future where they could wake up beside each other without wondering who was coming for them next. But their love had already changed more than just their own lives. Adrian had once believed that power could protect him from everything. Elena taught him that love could give him something power never could. A reason to live. And Elena had once believed that love meant finding someone who could give her a safe life. Instead, she found someone who was willing to risk everything just to give her freedom. Their story wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy. It wasn't safe. But it was real. Because sometimes the greatest love stories are not born in perfect places. Sometimes they begin in the darkness. Sometimes they begin with two people who were never supposed to meet. And sometimes, the most dangerous person in the room becomes the one person who would never hurt you. Adrian had spent years building walls around his heart. Elena was the first person who made him want to tear them down. And when he finally held her hand, he understood something he had never understood before. He didn't need the empire. He didn't need the money. He didn't need the fear in people's eyes. He only needed her, because the woman he once believed would destroy his life had actually become the reason he wanted to change it. Their love proved that even in the darkest world, there can still be a light. Even when everything seems lost, one person can give you a reason to keep fighting. And even when the entire world tells you to walk away, your heart sometimes knows exactly where you belong. This is not just a mafia story. It is a story about two hearts that found each other when they were never supposed to. A story about danger, sacrifice, trust, and the kind of love that changes everything. Because in the end, Adrian wasn't fighting for his empire anymore. He was fighting for Elena. And Elena wasn't falling for the mafia. She was falling for the man hidden behind the mafia. The man who was willing to give up everything for her. Falling for the mafia, a dangerous love story where one heart became the reason another heart finally learned how to love.